like Raigeki and Lightning Storm. And then on the other hand, we have a very fun deck, which is the Chimera deck. I really love this deck.
Seems like there was no time to waste, starting things off right away here for Niroshan. And yeah, as mentioned, we have already featured deck that have tried to fight against Fuvalos by main decking 3 copies of Ash Blossom, 3 copies of Crossout, and Call by the Grave. But these 2 duelists have chosen a different strategy. They have picked up decks where they can set up an ending field through Fuvalos that doesn't let your opponent draw that many cards and that is still quite scary. And I think that makes a lot of sense. For Niroshan, it's obviously relying on Chimera Fusion. While for Jamie, it seems like he has picked up what was Pakawat deck from YCS Niagara Falls, which was the winner of the Swiss portion. And I mean, again, if not broken, why fix it? So he's gonna try to replicate the same success, which for this event would mean he would be the winner of the tournament. So does make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly a cool deck. I love the mix with the Bestial engine. It's so cool to be able to play that branded Regained whenever you get the chance in any deck. It's very nice. You can make good use of those level 6 monsters to make some good synchros, giving you access to level 10s like the Chaos Angel and the Bestial Disbarder. But on the other side, we're seeing the Chimera deck, which just seems to have a wealth of different options every time you play against it. It can make fusion monsters, it can make 6s, it has ways to fetch out the Captain Gold from the deck, which gets you straight into the Fiendsmith engine. It's just so much fun. It's just such a synergistic pile of cards to play with that I just really enjoy seeing it.
Yeah, and most importantly, it's made mostly of illusion monsters, which you should not take for granted, because we have seen now the other utility can be quite annoying. And yeah, the thing is, when you're not interrupted, things can go actually quite mad for this deck, because you can still access the Fiendsmith engine very effectively. And you can set up a Chimera Fusion, you know, to just bring out Guardian Chimera during your opponent's turn. And we know from back in the day with just branded how much advantage that can generate. But a Nibiru from Jamie. Is it gonna just prompt a negation? What's gonna happen? Let's see.
Looks like it's
resolved?
gonna resolve.
Wow.
There is quite a lot of recursion that the Chimera deck has. So both of the Chimeras have effects in the graveyard. We're also going to see the original Chimera that can discard a card from Jamie's hand during his end phase. So he's only going to start his turn with 4 cards, but with the Centur-Ion deck, that is plenty. It's very good at just starting with only 1 card and playing from there. So we'll see if Niroshan can do anything else this turn after the Nibiru.
Yeah, that's very good. Mirror's Word Knight is a way that you can set up, you know, an interruption from the graveyard, but not in this exact spot. And yeah, this is brutal. We mentioned it. Sometimes Nibiru is not that popular, and then you just play recklessly into it, and that's where it's gonna hurt the most.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get that discard still though. So yeah, what's has he got any cards left in his hand?
Ooh, that's a good one. I don't think so, actually.
One thing we didn't mention about this matchup is I think the Bestials put in quite a bit of work on Jamie's side. I think they have a lot of powerful graveyard effects. I'm not sure everything is a light or a dark in the Chimera deck, but I think there's a good number of lights and darks to be banished with the Bestials.
Yeah, no, it surely is very annoying, and I think it was a very good snipe. Obviously, you can still use it from the graveyard, and at the moment, though, Niroshan is gonna take advantage of his previous turn placed to just bring back one of his fusions, and now it's up to Jamie.
Yeah, I'm not really sure the need for summoning that straight away. He's not going to fuse with it by any chance. Doesn't seem to be.
Oof, and that's a great way to start things off here with the emblem out.
Yeah, it's one of the best starting cards in the deck. It lets you pick any Centurion monster from your deck and put it in the spell and trap card zone as a continuous trap, or you can set a Centur-Ion spell trap. So you could get the field spell if you really wanted, but probably more to the point, just get any Centurion monster you want, put it as a trap, and then they just summon themselves straight away. It does lock you into only summoning Centurions from the extra deck while you control that monster, but not the end of the world because the Centurion deck's got some very powerful synchros to summon.
Yeah. Especially as of lately, as emblem out has recently became searchable. So the deck has gained quite a lot of tools. And as you mentioned, that what he goes for seems like he's going uninterrupted, but now we are gonna use the Sword Knight. And let's see.
Yeah, the Centurion deck can use almost everything as a synchro material, but I think Nibiru has slightly too many levels.
Yeah, it's a bit much.
We're not yet got to the level 14 synchros being released.
You never know.
But yeah, any old Bestial would be really powerful here. It's amazing how the deck can use... Oh, is that a Typhon?
Wow. Without even committing his normal summon, but the problem is you can't, right? Because of the oath.
Oh yeah, you can't summon from the extra deck,
so, yeah. Luckily, it was caught by judges as well. And yeah, what we mentioned. I mean, that was very surprising though. It seems like, is that really the best that you can do? Maybe Jamie has thrown into a lot of non-engine, and the snipe, again, of the Lubellion was crucial. Well, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to imagine the cards that are in his hand, like, nothing.
I mean, maybe it's just a lot of end traps.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Because like any Bestial, any Centurion card would let you play.
Yeah.
With the exception of the Gargoyle, I suppose.
Yeah, and that's it. It seems like he doesn't really have much, so... I don't remember the monsters that were tributed off Nibiru, but I'm pretty sure the token is quite large. So
Yeah, I think he's just passing, so maybe it's too big to attack.
yeah.
And is the fusion an illusion or is it a beast? The is it Baphomet? This one? Yeah, Baphomet, the king of mythical phantom beasts, is a fiend. So I don't know why you couldn't have attacked that. There might be some reason to be passing right now.
I guess. Yeah, because you could then banish it and special summon back the other target, so maybe that's why I didn't do it. But Tract is one really good top deck here, so
Yeah.
absolutely.
That'll definitely get you going. There's a lot of different ways to play for this deck. Very easy access into the Fiendsmith engine. Surely you'd know that there's no Bestials likely to come down from Jamie, so...
Absolutely.
But he's got to be thinking that there's some other interruptions. So I guess maybe another Nibiru to think about, or... I guess you can't play Dominus Impulse in this deck, so it's more classical hand traps.
Yeah, I guess a bunch of Veilers, Impermanence, stuff like that could be face down or in the end.
Do you think it's a read that it's like not an impermanence? Because a lot of players like to set the impermanence in the same column. So that would leave it being the Phalanx trap card that can banish a monster for a turn until it gets special summoned again. Which may not be enough to keep Jamie alive, but...
I guess there is a wording which is Droplet too, maybe. Well, I guess, yeah.
But I feel like with most of these cards, I think you just kind of play and wait until it gets activated of its own accord. You never need to target it with anything like that.
And that's going to resolve, so Nibiru is cleared, and it's going to be up to Niroshan whether he just wants to switch the token to attack position. We have no idea how big that is, because this could easily be game and on his own.
Yeah, I think it is quite large. So I think it had like a Baphomet and a Captain Gold.
You had 3 monsters.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
So this is a bit like attacking with 5 monsters.
That can be tricky if it's the droplet, but nope. Attack resolve, and let's see if that is going to be enough. Might be a little bit less than what's needed, but yeah, no real way to tell it for us.
Is Primera not 1800 attack as well, or is it 16?
Yeah. Okay. No. I was about to say I thought he picked up his cards, but it is indeed the one of the 2 copies is running of the Centurion Phalanx.
Yeah, let's you banish a
This game 2 is going to be Jamie going first.
Yeah, that card we're seeing in the side deck now is King Tiger Wang, who is so cool.
Yes.
Very cool against the Ubel strategy in particular, because all of their monsters are very small.
Okay, but it's a really good start. Once again with the Oath.
One thing to keep in mind with the Centurion deck is you can't just use Ash Blossom without thinking about it, because a lot of their cards they go into the deck, but they place spells and traps. So that's one of the few things that Ash Blossom can't negate.
Yeah, but what a start here.
Yeah, here it is, the Wake Up Centurion. Special summons a token.
Yeah.
You can choose the level. And then it has another effect that you can use in the same turn, is to banish it and send a Centurion card from your deck to the graveyard. And that's often Centurion Phalanx, which can then be banished to special summon a Centurion Synchro from your grave once you've got one in there. So we may be seeing all of those things happen this turn. But yeah, like a card that summons a token, like a quick play spell that's going to summon a token and then later on like summon a Synchro back, is a very powerful card indeed.
Yeah, although it's just a one-off, because usually, you can access it. But we do see the Draw and Lock from the side deck from Niroshan. Very popular card this weekend for a variety of different matchups, but decided to give it a go against the Centurion. And
yeah, that's quite annoying actually, because the Centurion deck adds an awful lot of cards. So you can, the level 8 Synchro that I assume Jamie was planning on making lets you add the Oath, but maybe he wasn't going to go straight into that on account of the fact that he's already used an Oath this turn. But the Auxilia, like level 12, is also adds a card when it's summoned. And the Legatia, all of the, I guess, Centurion Synchros, which you're going to probably make one of right now, have to add a card or get a benefit of adding a card.
Yeah. Luckily, though, the stand-up does not. It's one of those effects that you mentioned, just places one of your Centurion in the spell and trap. So this is what's going to happen right here. But most importantly, it is the effect during your opponent's turn that's relevant, because it allows you to just synchro summon during both turns. So
yeah, it's super nice, that card, because oftentimes the Centurion deck can end with a couple of monsters in the trap card zone, which can then be special summoned to your field during your opponent's turn. So having a card that allows you to synchro at that time is very useful. It's also got a built-in protection effect, which is very handy, which is if you control a Centurion card, it can't be destroyed by card effects. So definitely one to keep in mind.
Don't waste your Ghost Ogre, I guess.
Exactly. When you read a field spell that has to discard a card for cost, you think, boy, let me just Ghost Ogre that, but not in this case.
And yeah, seems like for...
Yeah, so the Trudea gets summoned, and then it goes quickly back into the spell and trap card zone to use its effect, which lets you place another Centurion from your deck as a continuous trap.
And it's going to be the one-off of Atri.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice there, because the Atri, it has a very powerful effect, which is when it's special summoned, you get to draw a card as long as you have an Emblema or a Centurion. But in this case, we have a Drawn Lockbird, so no cards for Jamie.
Yeah, it's a very cool addition. It's kind of like an Eat Soul for the deck, where you can special summon it easily during both turns. and then you just get 2 cards. And this time around, he's gonna only be able to draw 1 during your next turn, but still, pretty nice addition.
Yeah, something with the Legacia rather than the Auxilia here, which not really sure. I mean, they both can't use their effects, but the Auxilia has the extra effect of protecting your spells and traps, which is quite a handy thing to do. I mean, I don't think you probably think too hard about like a Feather Duster style thing, because your monsters would just get summoned anyway.
Unfortunately, as you've mentioned, he's gonna miss out on the Legacia effect to draw due to the roll, but can still send the trap. And it seems like this is going to be almost it. So we move to the end phase. And yeah, this way we can use the Legacia effect. And that's it. So draw back to Niroshan, who is still facing a very threatening field. The good thing about summoning Auxilia is mainly that you also have a built-in protection effect, because in these kind of scenarios, cards like Feather Duster, Lightning Storm can be annoying. At the same time, the key difference with the regular trap cards that summon themselves as monsters is that they remain a trap, while if you summon the Centurions, they don't. So we are starting with Tractus once again.
Well, one thing to note maybe is the Crimson Dragon that you can make. I think it has to target a dragon on your side of the field, so you can use that if you have the Auxilia, but you cannot use it. Oh, it just targets a Synchro. Okay, we're fine then. It targets any Synchro and summons a dragon. So you can summon it with either Legacia or the Auxilia and get access to the Cosmic Blazar.
Yeah. And here we're gonna go wild, because we get finally to special summon in the main phase a lot of these Centurions. We're gonna draw a card, and then let's see if there is an answer to the field spell. Niroshan is thinking, but no, allows it. So, as mentioned, pick up a card and then still make a Synchro, which, as you have mentioned, is going to be the Crimson Dragon. Crazy card.
Yeah, it's going to summon the almighty Cosmic Blazer Dragon, which just negates absolutely anything you would like. It can negate a summon, it can negate an attack, or it can negate an effect and then banish itself until the end phase, at which point it will come back again. Very difficult to cleanly deal with this card, but I suppose you just stop it being summoned in the first place.
Yes.
And you never have to deal with it. Perfect.
Droplet for 1. And yeah, gonna get to resolve. But now we follow that up with the There Can Be from the side deck. We did expect this card to come in. Obviously, it's gonna be annoying against the illusions, but in this case, it's targeting the fiends, making it so that this Flurry cannot just get Niroshan into his Fiend's Mid engine.
Yeah, keeping the Lurry honest, right? Normally Lurry, very quickly has a bag of tricks and turns into a million Fiendsmith monsters, but today Lurry is just Lurry. Just going to sit as a 200 and 400 monster.
Yeah, but this Gazelle is pretty good. It's also a beast, so this means that still he could summon now an illusion or just turn these two, depending what options. I'm gonna take a look at his extra deck if he has anything interesting that could be used outside of the SP, which doesn't really do much.
I guess the extra deck's very tight for this deck, so I'm wondering maybe just a Guardian Chimera with the help of a Chimera Fusion, if that's what he's added, would do the trick. Pop a couple of cards on the field. One of them could be the There Could Be Only One.
Yeah, that can be really good. But
although having said that, I'm not sure how that works under There Can Be Only One.
yeah,
because it is a beast. I know fusions work slightly differently to other things under these kind of style of effects, because I'm not sure you have to declare what you're summoning kind of at the point that you activate it or not. Like technically, I mean, most people just kind of resolve fusions as and when they want to, but you have to know how it exactly works.
Ooh.
Oh, here we does
But
this?
we do have the retaliating.
Yeah, that's very annoying. It's going to banish a couple of cards for Niroshan that he'd probably rather went to the graveyard.
For sure.
I don't think it's like the end of the world here,
No.
right? Because you're probably making Guardian Chimera anyway, and then you're just going to pop the retaliating C almost instantly, but this is not a Guardian Chimera. What is that?
We are not going for Chimera, we are going instead for, is it the Asamina? Yeah, I think it's Asamina Soul. And this allows us to send a card to the graveyard, which, if you want, could be, there can be, but
I guess you got to pick one. Maybe you can just use the battle phase to clean up the retaliating C.
no, I think what they're discussing might be...
Does retaliating C need to go after a normal spell? Or anything like that? No, I don't think so.
No, because, I mean, we did mention against Runic it
Yeah.
being good, so no. I think maybe because the text from Azamina Soul says if you Scarlet Fusion summon, you can target a card, send it to the graveyard. So maybe they were asking about that, but it's not really relevant that there is a macro-like effect, because that would be only if it was cost to send to the graveyard. But it could be the case.
Also, retaliating C only makes your opponent's cards go to the graveyard, right? Get banished. Doesn't make your own cards get banished.
And yeah, as expected, Sol is summoned and gets rid of this There Can Be, but now do we have a way to actually push?
Well, I guess at worst, you can just use your battle phase to clean up a couple of monsters. I feel like without the Crimson Dragon, maybe some of the grind game of the Centur-Ion deck will be a little bit weaker. Here comes Captain Gold.
Yeah, this has to be careful because he's getting a little bit ahead of himself, forgetting about this retaliating. And no, still decides to keep on going.
Yeah, he wants to
Just go SP and banish it, I guess. Yeah.
This feels very expensive. He's got to have a big plans for this main phase 1. I feel like, but he can't directly now. So I feel like if you're not going to attack directly anyway, maybe it was more efficient just to use the battle phase to clean up the retaliating C.
He does have the option to.
What? Yeah. What banished the There Can Be Only One? Maybe it was just should have been banished from the retaliating C. Maybe I was just making it up when I said. And no, it's any card. Okay. Yeah, I think I was remembering a different card that banishes your opponents. I thought he was banishing it for some effect. I was like, what is going on? There Can Be Only One has a bonus grave effect.
My secret trap card. Yeah.
That can. Yeah.
I mean, there is a way to just push here, but it seems a little underwhelming if you're just going to use the effect to pop one. Because it also looks as if he has no cards in hand, right? Yeah.
Yeah, this is kind of the...
But we do go for Necro Equip into bringing back the Engraver.
Yeah, where do you get to with this? Because you can make an Aerial Eater. I hope. Can you make an Aerial Eater? Because he sent a lot of a lot of his light fiends ended up banished rather than in the graveyard, owing to the retaliating C. So maybe he's thinned out his graveyard too much. Because the Requiem is gone, the Lurie is gone, and the Captain Gold is gone. So,
which could have been in the grave, by the way, because he could have just gone for the SP before, but...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This cannot be the...
Wow.
Oh, and there's probably Did he take it out? No, okay. He's still got the,
No, he does
the
have it.
statue.
So goes for the silver rabbit. No, he does. He has taken it out. Wow.
I mean, it's not quite a reasonable thing to do going second, but maybe he just
looks
kind of forgot.
Pretty confident that, yeah. I mean, I guess, yeah, the future match obviously can get to you. We have mentioned it multiple times, and yeah, probably gonna receive just a warning and will be allowed to proceed.
But yeah, turn not quite got not according to plan for Niroshan. There's going to be an extra. Oh god, he's still got the Trudea. He's still going to get to put another Centur-Ion in his spell and trap card zone during the end phase.
Yeah, if that's it.
Yeah, there's so much stuff about to happen now. It's hard to imagine Niroshan surviving the next turn, given all of the stuff that's going to be accumulated. Plus, did he not even attack the Crimson Dragon?
No, he did not. Wow.
Oh no.
I mean, yeah, I think he's probably realized that this game is over regardless, so Niroshan just passed back, and yeah, this is gonna be a quick one for Jamie to find out. But at the same time, we shouldn't forget about time, because actually there are 13 minutes left, and that's not that much. Although this game should be over during this turn. I mean.
Yeah, unlike our last two duelists, these guys are here to give everyone a show rather than ending the game in 10 minutes.
And yeah, when it goes to time, do you think one of these decks has, you know, an advantage over the other, or assuming that they are gonna get there? And yeah, I think this is enough. Okay.
Chimera deck in the first game, using both the fusions, they can kind of banish themselves to special summon the other and really have a lot of follow-up. And we'll see what Niroshan is capable of showing us going first into game number 3.
9 minutes remain to find a winner for round 6. Oh, and we start things off with the Lurry, not the greatest.
No more Charmies though, and although it is a downside, you know, if you start off with your Fiendsmith engine before using any fusion spells, then you're kind of a little bit safer from Retaliating Sea. You can get quite a lot done before it comes into play. So even though it's an extremely powerful card, as we've been talking about, it does have this downside of, you know, if your opponent can do a lot of stuff beforehand, they can kind of choose when you get to use it, which isn't really what you want from a hand trap most of the time. You kind of want to be able to use it on your own terms rather than have your opponent play around it pretty much at will.
At the same time, it's interesting that this might be the first deck with the Fiendsmith cards that is not playing the Lacrima. So, yeah, interesting decision. We'll see whether that becomes relevant. But for now, we can go. If this resolves, it doesn't. Yeah, I would have been shocked if this resolved. And yeah, it's to be expected that it gets negated. Do we have anything else from the Chimera deck to follow this up?
Yeah, I mean, a quick play fusion spell here would be pretty cool, but
no,
nothing.
And I mean, the normal summon of Lurry smells weakness, and that might be it. Wow. Kind of a weaker opening from Niroshan, who just set 2 face downs. And Jamie, who was probably in his head thinking that the most he could get out of this might have been a draw, now feeling really comfortable with plenty of time to push some damage.
Yeah, I guess we'll see what's Niroshan's got to fight back with. The deck's got an awful lot of engines, so I'm wondering what kind of non-engine he's got going on at the moment. He's got some Ash Blossoms, which were really key in the first game.
Could be holding, you know, maybe Book of Eclipse that he kept, but against, yeah, we'll see.
It has to be talents, right? I think that's the rule. If your opponent plays Infinite Impermanence and you have no other plays, it's because you have like 3 talents.
All right, at least it's an impermanence of his own. And let's see if Jamie draws into some engine as compared to game 1 where he didn't, and he only had 1 piece. And also careful about it. Okay, now the Lubellion is there. It was there, by the way, in game 1 too. It just got sniped.
But now it's not, and it's going to come out in full force. It's going to do so much work now, right? You get the Bestial, you get the Magnamut, which is only at 1 copy, but if you play the Bestial Lubellion, you get 3. And not only can you get the regain set up, you also then can use the Lubellion as a tuner, like as a non-tuner. What other decks actually do this? Like, it's absolutely crazy. You get all this value, you get the regained, and then you also need that level 8. It's absolute madness.
It's really strong, and yep, this is gonna be the beauty of it. Yeah, I was about to say you should summon in attack, but
I feel like Jamie does the same thing. Everyone, like, you know, you put it in defense because you always put it in defense, and now
yeah, I mean, it's got 3,000 defense, so fair enough. Okay, yeah, I was about to say, luckily, it seems like he has dodged the impermanence column. I think it was the middle one, right?
yeah, and this just seems like so much advantage now. So the Auxilia or the Legatia gonna resolve.
And yeah, explaining the effect, but finally it's the field for the first time in this match, but it is a powerhouse, one of the later pieces of support that the deck received, but it's an amazing one. It does so much for the deck. Not only does it protect, and in this case as well, it does protect the regain, which is a nice interaction between these two engines.
Yeah, it really ties the deck together. Just one extra useful synchro that you can go into on turn 1, getting that protection, searching a card. Fuvalos for turn doesn't even matter. You know, as your 6th card, it's normally a very sad sight, but in this case, we can get perfect use out of it. And we're going to be able to get 2 synchro monsters on the field, I think, but will it be enough to deal 8,000 damage? I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, it might not be, but I think you're happy regardless. Because, I mean, there are 4 minutes remaining, most likely a little bit less once you pass if you can't close this one out. And you're going to get ahead, but yeah, that's big. Yeah, we do get the token, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, here comes no draws, but I don't think any draws are needed. I'm not sure what level we made the token here, but I think any of them will do. And you have the option of pretty much whatever you like. You can make the Crimson Dragon, or you could go straight into Legathia. Here comes the Crimson Dragon. Gonna let you turn into a Blazar Dragon, if that's what you need.
Close one. And for now, we just enter battle phase and deal the first damage of game 3, which could be enough again. But we're not done yet. No response to this Crimson. This is huge. We get the Cosmic Laser.
Yeah, it's a nice little extra optimization from Jamie there, because if anything could possibly go wrong with the Crimson Dragon, then it's nice to have it as a quick effect instead, because that way you've already got the attack through with the Phalanx. So if there was a card like Book of Eclipse, for example, which I don't know why Niroshan would have held it all this time, but, you know, even so, you're guaranteed to either get the attack or resolve the effect. So nice to hold it as it's.
And we're done. We go to the end phase. We put back a Centur-Ion, and Niroshan needs a miracle to pull this one off with only 2.5 minutes remaining and down 5,800.
Did Jamie remember to add his Bestial during the end phase?
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I think he's just realized now. Yep.
Always got to remember that one, because it is an effect you already activated, so it's not like you kind of forgot it. If it activated in the end phase and you forgot, then you've just kind of forgotten, but because you activate it on the summon, then you kind of have to resolve it in the end phase, but it shouldn't be too difficult to repair.
And it's actually quite big, because you can get, as you think it did, the Bold Drake, which is yet another interruption potentially.
Yeah, I mean, it does quite a lot, right? It gets you a draw off Branded Regained, it interrupts your opponent's grave, another Retaliating Sea, just because.
That's a little nice interaction with the Regained as well, I guess. Some synergy.
Yeah, the regain does a little bit of everything, right? You can use it with the phalanx as well, which is quite fun when you banish, put it back. If it's your opponent's monster, I don't know. This just seems like way too much from Jamie, right?
And it was talent.
It was the talents. That's the rule.
That's gonna be negated. The Cosmic Blazer gets banished.